Right now, I would say during the high season, we have a lot of the flights coming down to Phuket, as well as during the festival, the festivities that we have in Phuket, also from the other part, and we have a lot of tourists coming right into Phuket with direct flight. And some certain period, it's too many, to receive the capacity to be enough to receive those direct flights. For instance, like 2-3 days ago, we have, in a short period of 4 or 5 hours, we have 11 flights, came in at the same time. Last week, yeah. And it caused a lot of the problems at the airport because of the support units, not only for the structures of the airport, but the concerning operations like customs, immigrations, and the staff of the AOT itself and the airline staff. So with 2,000 overs at the same time, it gets stuck there for 4 or 5 hours, which is not convenient for the tourists at all.
Most of these were charter flights. Unusual because of the festivities, you think?
Yes.
Chinese New Year especially?
Yes.
But it's not normal. I mean, the rest of the year we know when scheduled flights are coming, but charter flights we don't know when they're coming?
Yeah, you have to differentiate this into two parts. One is the normal charter flight that they're flying regularly. They have a fixed schedule, so they can land down during the daytime, from 6 o'clock in the morning until 9 or 10 or 11 at night. But this special flight for the festival, it will come in after 11 o'clock when, the airspace is clear. So it's just like, line up in a short period. So the slot has given by the aviation authority from Bangkok, and they think that, okay, after 11 o'clock, the sky is clear, so they just land down here. But at the same time, the capacity of the operations unit at the airport is not enough to support those big clouds like that. But if they are flying in like regular charter, register before, and they can fly down during the daytime until nighttime before 12, that was, enough capacity to do it.
Do you think the facilities at the airport are sufficient though as well?
The functioning, I would say that it's not operate at the moment. Maybe rack on something, but everybody sees that,
A new terminal or a new runway, would that help? Or relaxing, say, the restrictions on the flight times, arrival times?
The runway it's enough, Only three things that we have to aware is the parking lot for the parking bay for the aircraft, and the space for the passengers, for both departure and arrival. For departure hall, I think they have a new departure hall which is going to open soon, and that would give enough space for those departure. But for the arrival hall, it's very limited. As you may notice that when they came down from the bridge, and then they have to go down by the escalator, and then they just get stuck there in the immigrations room, which can contain like 600 or 650. But when 6 charter flights came in together, more than 1,000 passengers, so they get stuck there until messing up there.
What about the transport from the airport as well? Do you have concerns about the range or the choice of transport, taxis and limousines?
During the daytime, it's enough. You have the taxi meters, you have the limousine operations, and you have the private car from the hotel and all that, and the buses, from the tour company. But I have gone through one complaint that did it from one of the passengers from London. Then they came down with the night flight, the late flight from flying from Bangkok into Phuket, like 10:30, 10:45. When they arrive at the airport, there's no limousine, no car, no nothing. No facilities, so they just get lost on at the airport. So the Thai passengers has to help them to get into town, and then they connect some other vehicles or some hiring taxis go down to the beach. So they write a complaint to the association as well as the Tourism Authority of Thailand that this kind of operation shouldn't happen at the international airport like Phuket.
And what about before they come? we've often had this call for more direct flights. Are your tourists, your guests, your hotel here at Patong Resort asking for direct flights, particularly say from Japan?
We look into this matter. We don't need a special direct flight during the festival, but we need a regular charter, throughout the whole year round. I give you, for instance, we normally have a regular flight from Tokyo and Osaka flying to Phuket. That gives us a lot of the opportunities to receive the numbers of tourists, very high rates, like 240,000, 250,000 for the past few years. But when Thai Airways International, they decide by the government's order to change the new cost from Tokyo Phuket and Osaka Phuket to Chiang Mai, then the number of Japanese tourists has dropped down. You can see it clearly from 200,000 over, dropped down to 40,000 over. We lost a lot of the numbers. Even though the number of the tourists coming into Thailand is not decreased, but for Phuket itself, it decreased and it affected a lot because lots of hotels and tour operators or spas, they invested a lot for the facilities for the Japanese market. But then, it's going to be waste now and loss of the investment if we don't have many more tourists coming by cut down of flights. So what I would like to request is the direct flight charter, regular charter from Tokyo or Osaka or some other place flying down to Phuket in a regular basis. For instance, another one from the Middle East. We have a lot of the customers from Middle East during the low season, we call clean season right now. And they love to come down here during the rainy season that they see the rains here because they seldom see the rain. And we're trying to bond one of the charter from Middle East right direct to Phuket. Like this, basic of the charter flight, regular charter, we require more because we have a lot of space, but not the festivities that became like 15 flights in one day.